Hello, everybody, and welcome to WarCrafters for June 22nd, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 25. I am MayorWatt. I run ohmTown.com. That's that over there. Sentient AI, that's normally the co-host with me, is not available at the moment. If you want today's show notes, you can check them out in the show notes over on YouTube or hitting !WC, and ohmTown will spit out the articles in the order that we're going to go over them. No particular order, it's just how they were submitted. Today we're going to be talking about a ballet slasher, FBC Firebreak, End of Abyss, Loot of Ball, and Thief VR. Everything is powered by ohmTown, so go over there. It's kind of the crossroads of, well, all information, really. It's all news, no noise, because all the noise comes from this guy. All right, so let's do this. We're going to get into this, but this is the front page of ohmTown. I'm actually in the time machine, so the date on that is actually wrong, but that's okay. This is WarCrafters. This is the new logo for WarCrafters, and this is where some of the information that we go over is stored. But we take information, news from all over the place. And the first article is over in the Mobile channel. Tsarevna is the world's first ballet slasher, combining the beauty of ballet with the deadliness of sword combat and magic. It says here, the beauty of dance is about to be melded with the deadliness of blades. Tsarevna from Watt Studios. Oh, a namesake. Interesting. I am MayorWatt, but I have no affiliation with Watt Studios. Blends folklore and fine art to create something wholly unique and interesting. From the early gameplay footage shown on the Steam page, it looks like Tsarevna is borrowing from combat veterans like Bayonetta, while also trying to do things their own way. Much like interpretive dance or ballet, every attack is beautifully orchestrated and demonstrated. Mixing a Slavic folklore is where the author of this gets interested, as the idea of taking down enemies as a kick-ass ballerina sounds genuinely super cool. Hence, I think the movie Ballerina. So it's kind of a wick game, I guess. I don't know. It's not. It has nothing to do with it. But anyway, Sean Sachaki over at Vice.com put this article together. The deck statement says, Tsarevna is looking to combine the beauty of ballet with the power of combat for an interesting take on the action genre. Is it a side scroller? Interesting. So it says they've always had a bit of a soft spot for games like this, games that are unabashedly not afraid to try something unique and different, blending the art of ballet with the savage viciousness of bladed combat is something I have never thought of. Except for Star Wars, because of the, lightsabers. Anyway, there is a trailer here. Do I want to play it? I'm going to mute it. So basically it has a ballerina walking through a path and summoning a sword. Oh, interesting. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's very kind of, how do you want to put it? Graceful, like a clair obscure kind of combat. It's very interesting. They don't go into it too much in this, but that's okay. The teaser trailer has them hyped up. The author is hyped up, and the early gameplay videos on their Steam page look very promising. With an estimated 2026 release window, the team at Watt Studios has an ample amount of time to ensure that the game turns out as beautiful as the dances it takes inspiration from. There's more to read over at Vice.com. Go and check it out. The next article is over at WarCrafters. FBC Firebreak doesn't have the eldritch chaos that the author had hoped for, so they're going back to one of their favorite games that you've never played, apparently. That's what the article says. That's the title. To say that they were psyched about FBC Firebreak when it was first announced is an understatement. Nothing gets them foaming at the mouth quite like quirky eldritch co-op shooters. So you can imagine their disappointment when they finally got to play Firebreak and it wasn't as outlandish as they had imagined. I've seen some gameplay. I wasn't too impressed. Ellie Gould over at PCGamer.com put the article together. The deck statement says, "Who let the dog out?" I'm not sure what the reference is there, but okay. The foundations of Firebreak are certainly there, as you would imagine, for something inspired by Control, because that's, I think, the world that it's in. It's, I think FBC is the last letter in that is Control, but I don't remember what FB is. Anyway, I think Firebreak Control or something like that. I don't know. I don't think it's Firebreak Control, but anyway, I think it's something Control Firebreak. Anyway, Remedy doesn't manage to pull anything worthwhile on top of that to make something mind-blowing or even that exciting. Yeah, from what I've seen, it doesn't seem all that amazing. Yeah, I kind of figured that it would be more SCP kind of thing. They desperately wanted something mind-bending that could be hilarious, tense, and scary to enjoy with their friends, but after it, giving it more thought, they realized that they wanted a higher budget version of SCP Secret Laboratory. Assigned a random role at the start of the secret lab, you could drop into a containment facility as a security guard, a scientist, an SCP creature, or if you're really lucky, a Class D personnel member, otherwise known as a D-boy. Each class has a role. This must be something else, because I don't remember it looking like this. Yeah, this is Secret Lab. Anyway, because I don't think that this is what FBC Firebreak is. I watched people play FCP Firebreak and FBC Firebreak, and it wasn't this. I don't think. I'm gonna have to watch it again. Anyway, what I saw was people splashing water on each other, and then in another player was electricity, and then I can't remember what the third person was. I just kept seeing iterations of that, and so I wasn't too impressed by it. And everything was kind of soaking up damage, and you had to get the timing right or something like that. But I don't know. I wanted something a little bit more interesting, more dynamic than that. Just more. But maybe I'll go back and give it another look, and we'll talk about it again. But FBC Firebreak, they have an article over at PC Gamer. We link to it in the description and the show notes. And if you click !WC in the chat over on Twitch, ohmTown will spit out the articles, and you can click on the link, and it'll take you over to ohmTown, that little snippet right there. And then from there, you can click on visit the source, and it'll take you right to our source. Let's keep going, though. The next article is over in Technology Today. End of Abyss is when Metroidvania meets space horror. Pardon me one second. So it says, you'd assume that the latest game from the studio that made Little Nightmares 2 is going to be a bit spooky and dark, and Section 9's End of Abyss is that. However, it's a little easier to describe and explain. An atmospheric sci-fi shooter with Metroidvania-style exploration. While there's no shortage of Metroidvanias to draw inspiration from, when they played the demo at SGF 2025, all they could think of was Alien. So the article is over at Engadget. Matt Smith put the article together. And I am going to do something real quick. Because it is really, really warm in my office. Or I'm in the studio. So an isometric take on the genre of Metroidvanias. Interesting. So again, Matt Smith over at Engadget.com put the article together. And it says you'll have to tag between the scanner and your gun pretty often too, as biped monsters, spidery little parasites, and beefier foes swing their literal heads at you. Fortunately, End of Abyss's isometric layout is paired with the ability to move and shoot with each analog stick. That's what the author is saying over at Engadget. I'm gonna hit play on that trailer and just I'm gonna mute it. And let's jump into something that might resemble actual gameplay. I'm not too interested in the trailer. If this is what it looks like, the resolution is quite intriguing. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Oh my. So they're shooting at the monsters, and in one place it's a hand, straight out of Elden Ring style thing. And then in others, they're shooting at something and it's breaking off pieces, and those pieces are monsters that come after you. This is pretty wild. And it ends with what looks like HAL from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Basically a cylinder, or not a cylinder, a cube that has a red glowing light on it. Yeah, not a fan of sentient AI basically killing humans. So if you do ever get overwhelmed, the character gets respawned back in the world, as do the monsters, but any doors unlocked and skills gained are saved. Even better with the game that centers on exploration, when you come across something that you can't yet interact with, for example, a weakened wall that could be demolished or a security door that requires a key, scanning it in-game will tag the feature on the map, making it easier to circle back once you have what you need to progress. During the demo, they unlocked explosives for tackling the weakened walls, but they also spotted grapple hook fixtures, presumably for a later point in the game. Seems like it would be fun. I'm going to have to take a look at it, and I'll add it. You know what? Let me see. I don't know what is available right now. I'm going to do this live, since we do most of the stuff live anyway. End of Abyss. Oh, I don't think that's in Steam. Is it? No, I think that's a... Is it an Epic game only? Oh, it's... Well, hey, it says that End of Abyss is coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. But where? Why does this seem like an... Yeah, it's Epic, so it's probably only on the Epic installer, which is stupid. But anyway, let's move on. The next article is over in Tabletop Night's fantasy RPG-styled idler game Loot of Ball formally releases for PC via Steam. So, Loot of Ball. What? Why is that not on my... That's not showing up. It's not showing up. Hold on. We're doing it live. I wonder what's going on here. Anyway, it says after booting the game, characters will do the work. Will do the work on your desktop screen. So idler games are a lot of fun. I really dig them. They just kind of sit on your screen and they, putz about doing whatever it is they're going to be doing. Loot of Ball will use a portion of the user's desktop screen in a similar fashion to games like Berserk Bits and Rusty Retirement, which was really easy. Just kind of sit there and let that play. Players can form a crew consisting of characters from 5 classes available at launch and a 6th assassin class set to be added July. You can find screenshots and a fact sheet of Loot of Ball right now below in this article over at RPG Site, and Kite Stenbuck is the author of this. The game is available in English, French, German, Russian, Japanese, Korean, and Chinese, simplified and traditional. They have basically what the marketing is for this. Assemble your hireling crew from 5 distinctive classes: Mage, Paladin, Ranger, Berserker, and Necromancer. Experiment with 72 unique skills and gear up with over 400 immortal items and 1,000 plus unique equipment pieces. Design a creative combo to tackle diverse challenges, blast enemies with elemental magic, enchant weapons into mythical artifacts, or stack auras to bolster your team and create your own unstoppable style. Quite interesting. But where is it? It says it's on Steam, but I'm doing a search and I don't see it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to... Let's do this. I will shut down my Steam and log back in to see exactly what's going on. Maybe it'll log me in again. I don't know. But that's okay. Loot of Ball. It looks intriguing because it's an idler and it will sit on your desktop. let's do the last article for today, June 22nd, 2025. It's over in RealityHacker, but it's Thief VR Studios' next game based on flagship IP from Major Movie. A new job listing confirms Maze Theory's next game after Thief VR is based on a flagship IP to coincide with an upcoming movie. After announcing Thief VR Legacy of Shadow earlier this month at with Vertigo Games, UK-based studio Maze Theory is looking to its next project following its release. Codenamed Project Xeno, a new job listing for lead gameplay designer and creative lead, calls this a groundbreaking immersive narrative experience built for next-generation VR and mixed reality platforms, stating that it's a flagship IP in coordination or collaboration with a major movie. Maze Theory advises this upcoming project fuses cinematic storytelling, innovative gameplay. So the article is over at uploadvr.com. Henry Stockdale is the author of this, has a big graphic of a virtual VR hand holding some type of a trinket of some kind that might be picked up from a pedestal somewhere, reminiscent of Idle for the Whip Indie. I need to look something up real quick. Yeah, I don't see it. That last game, the Loot of Ball, does not show up on... Yeah, it's not showing up. Weird. I don't know. It says that it's on Steam in the article, but it's not showing up on my Steam. Not on my Steam. Anyway, there's only a single still of this, but Thief VR Studios' next game based on flagship IP from Major Movie. Sounds intriguing. Given the code name and sci-fi setting, this could potentially be tied to Alien. Ridley Scott's working on a new film entry, and franchise antagonists are known as xenomorphs. However, that might conflict with the Alien Rogue Incursion sequel, which Servio stated is still in development after suspending new VR updates in the near term for the first game. So that's just speculation that the author is making. There's more over at this article, but it's interesting. It says Thief VR Studios' next game based on flagship IP. So this is from, I think, Thief VR. So I'm interested in anything VR. I like using the Pico. I use the Pico 4. I should get a Pro, but I'm waiting until maybe a new Valve Index iteration is going to hit the market. We shall see. But with all of that in mind, we are done with today's WarCrafters, and I'm going to shut down real quick, turn off the time machine and reset it, and then I'll be right back. But before I do that, we are going to steal our way back to the front page of WarCrafters over at ohmTown. Go over and sign up and sign in. Be sure to follow us on YouTube and Twitch. We're everywhere, really. Download the podcasts. That would be great. I'm actually playing catch up because I haven't been available since Thursday of last week. We're coming up on Thursday of the next week, for crying out loud. But I'll make it up to you. This is one of 3 weekend shows that I'm doing. So this is WarCrafters, and then Technology Today, and then FourWheelTech. Then after that, I'm going to try to get Non Sequitur News for Monday and Non Sequitur News for Tuesday done. That might be a tough haul. Mainly because I've got other mayoral duties that I need to go and do, but we shall see. And if not, then I will try and get it done on Wednesday, the 25th, and play catch up. But that's going to be a long day for me. So anyway, enough ranting. I will get out of here, and we'll be right back, though, for Technology Today. See you soon.